Shalom Israel. Everything's to Wab. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me and the clarity of the video is good. Sound is good. Put a 1 in the chat for me. See Shar's in there. Always on time. Appreciate that, my brother. Mikey. Mike is there. A few other people coming in. You know, we're going to get getting other people to come in. We're going to talk a little bit about Esau as usual. We're going to get on him. And but we're going to talk about it. But we're the Isupk. Started off 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commanding General Yohana. Where we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Started in 1969. And of course, we're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Any. As a matter of fact, if you're not under Commanding General Yohana and the ISUPK, then you're not of the truth. I'm Officer Kazak Shapar, 50, coming out. An ISUPK South Carolina school, and teach the law class tonight. We're going to talk a little bit. Let's see who else we have. Ronald McDonald. Haven't had you in class in a long time, Ron. Glad to have you here. Okay. But we have all my brothers in class. We have more coming in. And, of course, we have our sisters coming in class. And we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to get into some topics here. We're going to talk a little bit about Esau and how, he's still, his life, he's still out there, still trying to be hated because he is, still trying to be a hateful person. I'm sorry, Slocky. An hateful person, vile person, profane person, and then we're going to explain a little bit about these things. I mean, you know how he destroyed our people, man. He destroyed when we were slaves or Native Indians. I mean, this guy hold himself not guilty. His whole race, he doesn't understand. His people don't really understand who they are. And we're going to let them know. Esau is Edom. We're going to let you know that. We're going to let, if they tune in here trying to listen, we're going to let our people know who they are so you'll know, so you'll understand, the Most High, Jacob and Esau in the same womb, they coming out the womb fighting. And the Most High separated them because that's what he wants Israel to be. He wants Israel to be separate from Esau. They're an entire different nation, man. And we're going to get into a lot of countries that they reside in right now. We're going to talk about the days of old a little bit. We're going to talk about how Paul went through some things. Who else we got? A young man, D'Angelo. Good to have it in class, Glad to have you brothers in class. I want you to stay with me, guys. Ask the questions pertaining to class. We don't have anything other than that, we'll save it for after class, and I'll see if I can answer that, okay? If I can, I'll answer it on another day, but let's try to stay with the class subject. But listen, Esau, let's get into him for a second. He's still out here being hateful, wicked, vile, profane, and he still wonders what happened to him. Well, I'll tell you what happened to him. He sold his birthright. And when you steal that made him hateful in his heart. He's spiteful. He's hateful. He's bitter. He's got hate. He can't contain it. And I'll ask the question in the chat here. Ask you guys, what makes you think, the question I was going to ask, he's a vile person. He's immoral. He's profane. Sold his birthright. And before I ask the question, let's get into the reading here a little bit here. Let's turn to Genesis, the 27th chapter here. And we'll see what happened in his birthright. will show you what happened, because he claims, I hate Jacob. I hate my brother. Well, because he supplanted him. Esau, what really happened to you, we're going to show you what really happened to you, why you're so wicked, okay? Because we're not going to go back to the story as far, but in Genesis 25:25, Jacob and Esau were struggling in the womb. One was born, the other was strong, and the other, the Most High separated Jacob from Esau. That's the story. And Esau, when it was Jacob supplanted him in his birthright. That's what it says. It says in Genesis 27:35, it says, and he said, thy brother came subtly, and have taken away thy blessing. Why did you give it away? Only a wicked and profane person would give away his birthright. If y'all agree with me, say, Khan, say, let's see, who is that else in class? Nama, can't. Can't hardly read the name. I believe it's. But who would be so vile as to give their birthright away in the first place? I mean, you needed to understand that this birthright came from the Most High, man. This is not something that you likely just give away. We'll keep reading it here. And he said to thy brother with subtly, and have taken thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? That's the 12 tribes of Israel. That's us. We came back. And if I have to go back further, I would. For he supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? He's talking to his daddy, and it says, and Isaac answered in verse 37, answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine I sustain him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? See his Isaac had to sit here. He looking at him like, hey, you dummy for doing what you did. But you see, you got to understand something. Let's turn to Hebrews 12 and 16. Real quick here. Esau gave away his birthright. He's going to blame Jacob because he supplanted him. But, the Most High had all this set up anyway through Rebekah, letting them know that, listen, because what we're going to do, we're going to get into all of the nations of Esau. We're going to show you who he is and where he come from. And but first, we got to show you why is he mad at us. We know why. Okay, that's why he's violent. That's why he's profane. And here's Hebrews 13. Let's turn to that. Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. See, Esau was a fornicator, man. He's a fornicator. Okay, plus he was profane. A profane person, he doesn't have a relationship or a devotion to that which is sacred or biblical. I mean, that's the definition. He didn't care about the sacred things or the biblical things that Isaac and Rebekah was planning for their children, or the Most High would have planned, for that matter. Esau just said, I don't want that for one morsel of meat. Let's read that again. Follow along with me. Verse 12 and 16. We're talking about Esau and why he's mad, why he give up something. Why would he do that? Because I look at our people and don't look like that's something that we would give up. You're not going to give away a birthright. That's almost like, it's paramount to your whole birthright, your houses and in this life, your land and whatever else you have. You're going to give that, just throw it away? In other words, he was vile, vain, and profane, because he gave away his birthright. Hebrews 12:16. Follow along with me. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat, for one little piece of meat, one little cracker, or whatever, one little piece of meat, like if I was eating that cracker, one little piece of meat, a morsel. A morsel is not enough for an anthill to get to and tear up in about an hour. And that's what he despised. As Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Sold it. And let's finish reading. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessings, he was rejected. See, the Most High rejected him. That's the real story. He's profane. He didn't care about the things of the Most High. He was profane. So the Most High rejected him, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. I'm coming up with this text to kind of to outline and understand why Esau is mad at us and killing us all the time. He gave his birthright. But basically, he gave for a morsel of meat and because he was a profane fornicator. That's what he is. Con out of one. Yeah, all right. That's exactly right. Exactly right. That's exactly right. Appreciate that. He gave it up for one morsel of meat, man. And let's finish reading here. Verse 36, and he said, is it not rightly named Jacob, for he hath supplanted me these 2 times? He hath taken away my birthright. We're back in Genesis, the 27:36 there. Take away my birthright. Now he hath taken away my blessing. Now he's steaming hot mad now, We're going to get into the story. We're going to take it all the way back through time, all the way back, how they're killing us on the street and all of that. This is why this madman Esau, he's a madman. He's mad. That's what the problem is. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered, I'm pretty sure Isaac was just shaking his head. We're going to stay with what it said. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him Lord. Of all the brethren have given him servants with corn and wine, and have I sustained him. And what shall I now do? And what shall I do now to thee? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Esau sitting up here looking for one blessing when he done came to his head, and now he understand what he's done. Not really. He's just a wicked, profane person anyway. And Esau said, said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice, and he wept. And we're going to get into all these nations that involve Esau, because Esau claims, here's the thing, and I want you guys to pay close attention in class. He claims, a lot of people don't understand that Esau is actually Rome. And all these nations that are still out there in Rome, there are 10 horns out there that are the head of Rome. And they basically are Esau's, are nothing but Esau's, Edomites, But he claims that, I don't exist no more, because he don't want to lay hold to this blessing. He don't realize that his spirit of his forefathers have deceived him, and this birthright he sold. That's what it is. That's why he's mad, okay? And Esau said to his father, hast thou but one blessing? Bless me, even so, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be with the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven from above. Now he's telling me, here's a blessing for you here. And by the sword shall thy live. Anybody in the chat, type up in the chat what by the sword shall thy live. Tell me what that is. I'll wait. He said in verse 40, if y'all follow me there, I hope you do. Shar, lead them out over there. Shar, you got Mikey, you got McDowell, D'Angelo. I think it's Naima. Okay, I believe it is. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou hast had the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke off his neck. Okay, And then verse 41, tell me what the sword is. Tell me what the sword is talking about in verse 40. You know, when Isaac, his daddy, you know, our forefather, he said, and by the sword shall thy live. You know, what is the sword? Tell me what that is. So somebody type it up in the chat, guys, for me. And Esau hated Jacob. He what? He hated Jacob. That means he hated the 12 tribes of Israel. Our forefather Jacob, he hated him. See, when you saying you hate Jacob, now you hate Judah, Benjamin, Levi, okay, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, you know, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. You hate all these tribes when you hate Jacob, because that's what you're saying. In effect, that's basically what Esau hates all these tribes, and all those tribes are the 12 tribes of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's the crux of the whole story. That's the crux of the problem. So let's see what we got here. Kill. Okay, McDowell, you said kill, and young man, good. Let's got some answers. Let me go over here and try to read this. Can't see. It says, oh, that is Naima. Naima, glad to have you here. He said, kill and deceive. It says, young man D'Angelo say, today the sword is the gun, sir. That's exactly right. Listen, clap it up in class for that. That's exactly, everybody's right. I got you. You're right about that. To kill and deceive. And it's the gun. You know, shoot them up. Bang, bang. That's what he does. And what did he do? Next thing he know, he kills Trayvon Martin. Next thing he know, he kills George Floyd. You know, I didn't do it. That's what he's saying. And the nerve, and we'll get into that, the nerve of the Edomite wants to sit here and say, oh man, this jail thing ain't right for me. We're going to get into it. We're going to show you how wicked and profane Esau is. This jail thing ain't right for me. Can I just get probation and time served? Are you kidding me? You done put your knee on somebody's neck for 9:30. 9 minutes and 30 seconds, man. That's right. Exactly right. Appreciate that. Y'all put them hand claps in there. Clap it up. Clap it up for class, because I see that you guys are paying attention, and I appreciate that. Okay? For a morsel of meat, this man sold his birthright, and now he's mad, so he's going to start shooting up everything because he got a sword now, and that's the blessing that he gave him. So let's go back to the story right here. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. You're going to serve your brother eventually. You're going to do that, okay? And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, when you're going to have the dominion, Esau, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck, okay? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And that's what's been happening since. He has been, young man D'Angelo, very good. He has been trying to kill us since day absolute one. Okay, we're going to get into the story here because Esau's a vile person, man. He speaks. Let's turn to Isaiah. Let's get some more understanding about who we're dealing with here. You're dealing with a person that really ain't sane, man. A person that can go and kill somebody because of birthright. That's basically what he's doing. He's mad, because his kingdom is almost at an end. His sword that he uses, his gunshots and taking over, is almost at an end. We're going to get into all of that. Let's go to Isaiah, the 32nd. Follow along with me. Isaiah 32 and 6. Okay. So in the Old Testament there, Isaiah 36, Salakia. 36, what did I say? 32 and 6. I'm sorry, Salakia. 32 and 6. There we go. 32 and 6. The vile person, here's that vile, okay? The vile person will speak villainy. And we're going to get into the definition of villainy here in a second. Follow along with me, guys. Who is that? Naima, Salakia, Adawam, the gun. Exactly right. Let's clap it up for Sister Naima. You're right. All the brothers and sisters that just answered that, all of you all are right there. The gun. That's what the sword is. Okay? That's his claim to fame, man. But Isaac said, I'm going to give you a sword. Because this is as prescription as the Most High to show who this wicked, vile, and profane person is. Okay? All right. And then we're in Isaiah 32:6. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity. That's sin. That's all Esau want to do. It's all he thinks about 24/7. Okay? And that's why we don't need to be part of them. We'll get into that in a second here. Okay. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. Oh, wow. It is Esau. Esau's a hypocrite, man. He say one thing, mean another. We're going to show you. Paul in his days understood it all too well. Say, these guys are hypocrites, man. Paul, and look at what we're doing here. We go to our court system, we find out how hypocrite they really are. But I'll show you something here. Okay, for the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. That's what he does. And to utter error against the Lord, against the Most High. Say, the Most High, you're in error. That's what Esau does. And to make empty the soul of the hungry. That's us. Beat us down in slavery, to make us empty the soul of the hungry, man. We are thirsting for righteousness. Esau, my goodness, I wish it was day. I wish it was night. How we worked enslaved in the field, even on our jobs right now. We're on mundane jobs where they barely want to pay us enough to keep our rent. You can look at it that way too. We're hungry. To make empty the soul for the hungry, basically for the knowledge. And he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail, man. That's what Esau is. He's vile. So he's a vile, profane person that sold his birthright and want to sit up here and blame everybody else, especially Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. We ain't having that today, So, but that's what Esau, that's what he does as a person. So let's get on to further in the story. Let's see. Esau, for the morning. Forefather Esau said in his heart. Okay, but let's read that again. Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherein his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, for the days of mourning of my father hand. And that was back then. But he's still mourning. He still wants to kill us. It's obvious. The days of mourning are my father at hand. Then will I slay my brother, because he's been doing it all the time. Okay, because that was a real thing. He wanted to slay Jacob because his mother sent him off to keep him away from me, his brother. Of course, we read about that story in Sabbath services. But I want to let you know that Esau is wicked and profane, man. He's only a profane person that have no devotion to sacred or biblical things would sell his birthright. And that's what he did. Okay. All right, let's get into this. And let's get into Esau. He ruled Israel in Rome with his laws. And we'll get into that. Esau slaughtered the native Indians. Wicked. Here we're talking about a wicked, profane, vile person who hates. He's still hating. Okay? Ain't nothing new with him. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Let's read that. Did I have that? Okay. Oh, let's see. Did I say that? There's no new thing under the sun. Did I read that already? Yeah. Well, we'll get to it here in a second. Here, we'll get to it right now. There's no new thing that Esau is. He's always been like this. Let's read it here. Esau uses the same devil tactics. Okay, he's still doing it. He did it back in the Roman days, and he's doing it now because he is a Roman. That's the whole thing that people don't understand. He still hates, he still lies, and he's still violent, okay? Esau, there's nothing new. His hatred is still lethal. He's still lethal, man. And the Bible said there's no new thing under the sun. So why would we expect Esau just bringing what he did back then all the way up to now? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Who we have? Ayana Etheridge, glad to have you in class, sis. You got 2 sisters in class, all right. And about 4 or 5 brothers, good. Good class, Tawab class. Y'all write down and, the questions about this, and we'll keep going. Esau, I'm sorry. There's no new thing under the sun. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Follow along with me. You got it? Okay, give you a couple seconds here. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Well, the Bible says there's no new things under the sun. It says this. The things that have been, because the Spirit, those people are here. The Spirit, the things that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, it is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. There ain't no new thing under the sun. Esau always been a hated, vile, profane, wicked person. What makes you think he gonna stop for 1 second? What makes you think he gonna stop? And then for a long time, Esau wanted to go around and say, man, Esau ain't here no more. The Roman government been thrown down a long time ago. Yeah, right. Here it is in the Bible. The Bible says there's no new thing under the sun. White Roman citizens of the day of Christ are the same white Esau in America. And also, there are other countries, and I'm going to get you guys to name some of these for me in a second here. As all the other white countries of the other nations today, or Esau, a few countries where Rome resides, okay? Esau is Edom. What makes you think that he isn't? What makes him think that he can sit up here and hide and morph himself to be a whole nother people? Esau's Edom, the Bible says. It says in Genesis 36 and 8. King James Version says this. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Y'all find it. Esau, Genesis, Genesis 36 and 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Now, Mount Seir is the mountains, where the Most High told Esau to go up there and stay. Just go up there. You need to get out of the sun anyway and stay away from all this trouble down here. Because what did he do? No, he gonna find his way down the mountain and let the games begin. Let the killing begin. Let the hatred still follow him in his heart because he's vile, wicked, and profane. Okay? All right. Genesis 36 and 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir, because Esau is Edom. Or if you're over there in Greece, where our 10 tribes went, it's Idumea. Esau's Edom. There's no mistaking about it, okay? All right, I want you guys in the chat to name me, because he's trying to metamorph himself and trying to say that, the Roman Empire fell and he ain't around no more. Well, I want to let you know then, who are these 10 horns up in here? These white nations. Y'all name me one of the 10 horns, or one of the nations that Esau reside. Just name a nation where Esau reside. There are 10 of them. Of course, there are more nations than that. It's just the top characters or the top players, the 10 horns, the 10 horns. Horns is power in the Bible. One of the horns, strong nations. So everything come out of that. So I want y'all guys to, who is that? This is Ashan. Glad to have you in class. I think that's Ashan. I believe it is. And Ayana. Okay, good. Name me. If y'all still in class, take the time and think about nations. Name the 10 horns of Esau. How since he's trying, we're as a class, we're gonna expose who he is. So let's find out where he's living. And we know America is one of them because that's where Esau lived. It's wrong. So let's see. I think somebody else got something in the chat here. United Kingdom, Mikey, very good. Keep on going. Keep on going. Y'all tell me. Keep going. Exactly right. Let's see. Oh, Lord, you guys give me some good ones up in here. Let me pull the screen a little closer here, Salaki. Y'all doing it up in here, boy. Russia. Y'all say Russia, United Kingdom, Mikey, Young Man D'Angelo, Ron McDowell. Russia, United Kingdom. Keep on going. There's some more. Come on, sisters. I know y'all know a few of them. The 10 kingdoms, the 10 horns, where Esau claimed that old Rome just fell, it ain't even no more. It doesn't reside no more. Hey. We got the King James Version of the Bible and the Apocrypha here to prove you wrong, okay? The King James Version of the Bible lets us know that Esau is Edom. We got Russia, keep going. I'll accept these nations, even though some of them may not be the 10 horns. Let's see them. Yeah. And I'll name them, but I want you to name where Esau resides, because Russia is one where he resides, of course. United Kingdom, exactly right. Give y'all a few more seconds there to name some more, because we want to hit them. I want you guys to get it out, to understand who Esau is and where he resides, because once you know that, then you can understand how and who you're dealing with, because he don't want to call himself out. Well, we're going to call him out today here in the Isupk, okay? Under command of General Yohana. We're going to call Esau, who is Edom, the Bible says, in Genesis 36 and 8. Y'all keep naming something, because we're going to straighten it out and tell you who the 10 horns are, because that's who Esau is. That's who Edom is. Idumea. That's where they went. That's where they hide. That's where they reside. They claim themselves that they Roman Empire fell and they fell off the face of the earth. They dropped in some ocean somewhere. They certainly ain't in Mount Seir right now. I mean, because this is a desolate place up there in those rocks. So name some more. Y'all got some more? All right, and I'll give you about 15 more seconds here, and then we'll name a few. And if y'all agree with me, con, I don't con, just say, just tell me. All right, we're going to name a few. All right. It says Australia, America, Scotland, Ireland, Belgium, Netherlands, Australia, Switzerland, Denmark, and Luxembourg. Those are the 10 strong powers, the 10 horns, okay? We're not going to get into a whole lot of detail about that. Just let you know that Esau, these are the nations that Esau, strongholds of who he is, okay? Their empire, we'll read them again. Australia, I knew you guys named, you guys had a few of them right there, because I know Australia, America, Scotland, Ireland, Belgium, Netherlands, Austria, Switzerland, Denmark. When you start talking about countries like that, you're talking Germany, Luxembourg, Holland. That's all kind of countries in there. But the actual countries are Australia, America, Scotland, Ireland, Belgium, Netherlands, Austria, Switzerland, Denmark, and Luxembourg. And a lot of these comprise of other little small nations, and some of them France. You got Germany, you got Rome, you got Italy, you got all kinds of nations that come under all of that. We don't try to keep up with Esau that hard. We just know it's 10 horns. But these are the powers of Esau, a.k.a. white man. Their empire may have fallen, yet their people still exist with the same killer spirit. That's what you guys got to know. Let's see. Oh, yeah, let's see. Sister, I think it says Sister Naima. See what you got for me, sis. She got something there. She's got Salakia out of England, France, Spain, Portugal and Russia. Yeah. These are nations. These are nations that are white nations. Of course, the 10 horns are Australia, America, Scotland, Ireland, Belgium, Netherlands, Austria, Switzerland, Denmark, and Luxembourg. Those are the 10 horns. Those are the superpowers. Those are the powers, and all these other nations that you're naming there, they fall up under this. So in other words, in a nutshell, they are all Esau, Edom. Understand that, okay? That's why America is so violent, man. That's why it's so violent, because, you know, they were violent in the past because they knew that they could get away with it. You know, this is what they do. We're going to show you. We're going to show you in the Roman government how they could get away with stuff. Let me explain to you, and I'm going to read some things here. I'm going to read some things, and I appreciate everybody, and clap it up for class for everybody participating in that exercise, so you'll understand. Everybody who's looking in and participating and letting you and exercising your mind to understand who Esau is in all the nations that he come from, the 10 horns and powers that he is. You know, well, we're gonna let you know during the height of the Roman Empire, the different types of punishment inflicted among the Romans were fines. This is what they did, man: fines, bonds, retaliations, infamy, ignominy. That's like public example of embarrassment. You know, banishment, exilium, exile people, slavery, that sounds familiar, servitus, because these are Latin words, because that's what they, and then they had one called death, and we all familiar with that. Look at who they killing right now. They letting you know what they did in the past right now. Okay. But this is what you guys probably didn't know. A Roman citizen. Listen closely to this. Who we got here? Naomi, Belgium, and Switzerland. That's very good, Sister Naomi. Exactly right. Belgium, those, as a matter of fact, Belgium and Switzerland, yeah, they are part of the 10 horns. That's right. Exactly right, sis. Exactly right. Let's clap it up, Sister Naomi. That's very good. Dal and D'Angelo and Mikey, all y'all, very good. All right. But check this out. Now we told you the different types of punishment inflicted by the Romans back in those days, back in Paul's days, back in Christ's days. We're going to show you something that people didn't realize, a Roman citizen. A Roman citizen could not be sentenced to death unless he was found guilty of treason. That means going against your own country, or going against your powers to be, whether he be a Caesar or a king, because Caesar said there ain't no king but him. You go against him, that's treason. And that's what we're going to get into the story here, what happened back then, because see, what they did back then is a setup for what they're doing now. You don't just go in there and kill George Floyd and kill Trayvon Martin and think that they have the supreme authority to go and just kill a person and choke out Eric Garner on the street and kill Ahmaud Arbery just like that while jogging. This could have been any of our brothers, man. You just don't do something like that unless this started a hatred long time ago. They harbor a hatred in their heart, and you guys need to understand that. All these countries around here, they would do the same thing to you if they had the chance. Now, we're talking specifically in America, of course, right now, because that's where we live. But back in the Roman days, let's read that again. A Roman citizen could not be sentenced to death unless he was found guilty of treason. Isn't that something? And I looked up the stats, man. We get killed over anything. We can be sentenced to death. If you ever notice that, and like going back to like George Floyd, when he got killed, what's the guy name? Oh, goodness. Lose me here. But the perpetrator there that killed George Floyd. If you know it, type it in the chat. It'll lose my mind here real quick. I can't think of it. Got so many things on my mind. But they know in America that it's hard to sentence Esau or white man for killing a black man. They know that. Wake up and understand. You think you got rights out here? You think you got rights? Yeah, right. Man, you still a 3/5 here in America. You still a 3/5 person because your voting rights and all that stuff goes with it. That's you still 3/5. They say that you're not, but you are. 3/5, man. You don't mean nothing to them. That's why they can kill you and say, I'll slap him on the wrist, go give him some probation, get him out of my sight. You know, but we ain't gonna give him an electric chair. You know, you got to do something real heinous and real obvious and real open. Real obvious and real open for a white man to get any electric chair or anything behind killing us. They drug us, they hung us, they beat us. And where's the electric chair for them? You know, where's their punishment? Where's their 99 years? And 2 or 3 years and out. And this wicked, who was that? Y'all telling me? Derek Chauvin. Thank you, young man, D'Angelo. Derek Chauvin. Yeah, clap it up. Exactly right. Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin sitting up here saying, look, I won't. When I think I heard it on the news or read, I can't remember. You know, I want probation. You know, I guess he got to sitting here, got to wondering. He had to add a little trial. He had a trial by his own peers. He got to wondering. He is Roman. He is a Roman citizen. That's the same way you look at it nowadays. The Romans back then, there's no new thing under the sun, are the same in Romans today. That's what's going on. This Roman citizen know that I just put my foot on his neck. Hell, they ain't going to kill me. They're not going to give me the death penalty. That's how they look at us. Let's read that again here. Let's read that again. I had an article right here, but it says right here, a Roman citizen could not be sentenced. This is the laws that they had back then, man, including slavery. And of course, you know, if you were not a Roman citizen, you just, you know, they can do anything they want, throw you in the arena for that matter, get you killed by a lion, But here, a Roman citizen could not be sentenced to death unless he was found guilty of treason. So that means he can go and slay you, man. Well, what do you think they're doing out here right now? Trayvon Martin, these kind always get away with it. What do you think? That's the attitude of Rome. Hatred. Ahmaud Arbery, we'll teach you for jogging in our neighborhood, for whatever happened in there. They know I can get a new trial and it'll wash you over, ain't got to worry about it. They beat Rodney King like he stole something from their grandmother's house. Almost killed the man. Matter of fact, he did die from other reasons, but he killed this man. And so they say, and they didn't get any time, if I'm not mistaken. You know? So, but we're talking about murder here. You can go and put your knee on somebody's neck. My God. And ask to just get off on a time served probation. You lost your mind. This is what Rome thinks of us. Okay? Man, we 3/5 of a slave. That's what we are. Okay? They wised up and they said, oh man, we're gonna read on here further. They wised up and didn't give the citizenship Paul had, because Paul had this. Paul was modern Rome, and here, let's see, Paul was a citizen of Rome. Let's read that. Let's read about it. We're gonna get into the story of Paul and how how his stories are, because Paul had problems back there too with Rome. Paul, let's show you who was Paul. Let's tell you who Paul. Paul wrote, a lot of this Bible, especially the New Testament there. Okay, that's where Paul did. Paul has similar problems of injustice. Okay, Paul was a Hebrew. Let's read it. Get your Bibles out. 2 Corinthians 11:22 and 23. King James Version. Are they Hebrews? This is what Paul's saying. So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? Now, this is what makes a Hebrew. This is the 12 tribes of Israel. When you go Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, okay, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. When you get into this is what Paul is saying. I'm one of them. I'm a Hebrew. I think Paul was from the tribe of what? I think Benjamin, I believe. Okay. The Bible states that. So am I. Let's read this again. 2 Corinthians 11:22-23. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. All the ministers of Christ. I speak as a fool because I'm more. This is what Paul's saying. In labors more abundant, in stripes above measure, in prisons more frequent, in deaths often. Paul endured all this. Now, he is a Roman citizen, had his full citizenship. You call yourself a citizen here in America, you ain't got nothing but 3/5. Paul was a full citizen here. As a matter of fact, they wasn't supposed to beat him. Let's go. Let's read a little bit about this. Paul also was a Roman citizen, subject to all the rights of a Roman citizen. Okay? All the rights of a Roman citizen. Because when we get stopped, I know my laws, I know my rights, you don't know nothing. This is not, you don't have the full rights of a Roman citizen. Because this is Rome you're dealing with here. 3/5 of a person is about all you got, because that's what they give us. You were a slave, man. We are beaten, scourged on the streets as well as in prisons, as by their guards and their police. This is what they do to us. Acts 22 and 25 and 27. Yeah, 25 and 27. Turn to Acts and 22. Let's find out what's going on here. Let's find out what Paul went through, because if you can find out what he went through, and he's a tribe of Israel, you'll see what we're going through. You see, I'm trying to get you to see the parallel. You see the parallel and why we're being hated, all because of one morsel of meat. That's it. One red pottage meat, from a wicked and profane Esau, their forefathers. They hate us. Okay? All right, Acts 22. Let's read this. And as they bound him with thongs. Now here Paul is. Paul, there's a story there. I can read it, but I'll paraphrase it. Paul was preaching with, I think it was Silas, I believe. And he was caught. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong. He was caught, and he was preaching the gospel, man. That's all he was doing. He was teaching the gospel like he was supposed to. He was a priest and prophet of the Most High. Paul was a priest and prophet. And then they put him in prison because it was heresy. It's almost, they considered it treason, because that's how they looked at it, sort of, because Paul's a full citizen. But this is what it says there. He ain't had no trial, and he's thrown in jail. Okay, this is what Paul said. Okay, if you have any comments, type it up in the chat related to the story, related to the class, if you could, Baba Kusha. And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by him, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? Now look, what Paul is saying, look, you scourging me. That scourge, what? Y'all put in there, type in the chat what scourge mean. Because this is how you can learn, this is how you know, get into the lesson. It says, we'll read it again. Type in the chat What scourge mean? Everybody in the chat, okay? And as they bound him with thongs, they bound him like this, chains, fetters, bound him, bound him with thongs. Okay? Paul said to the centurion that stood by, now here Paul is for teaching the gospel. That's the same thing. All we do in ISUBK is teach the gospel right on the street. Understand the parallel. Okay? Centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? We supposed to be citizens in America. We get beat down, ain't got no trial. We 3/5 of a person, of course. Even if you were a full citizen. Why you beat down in the streets before the trial isn't even begun? That's what's going on right here. That's what Paul is saying. Who's got this? Young man D'Angelo, the whip. Yeah, you can say that. He was scourged. Clap it up for young man. That's right. Beaten, scourged, okay? Whipped. And they bound him with thongs. They, held his hands out like this. Don't that sound familiar how they did the slaves? See, all these things come to play when you begin to understand how they treated our people in the past and how they're treating us now and how they treated during the middle passes of slavery. You're in Rome. That's why we named all the nations of the 10 horns. So you'll understand where Esau is. America is one of those. Great Britain, United Kingdom, that's one of them. That's why you need to understand where you are. You need to understand where you are. You're in basically Rome. Of course, this is America now. This is Babylon. I understand. This is Babylon. Confusion. But you governed by the same Roman people that were out there back then. That's who this is. Okay, that spirit is here. If not, some of them are already here. No thing under the sun. No new thing under the sun, the Bible says. That's right. That whipped him. Okay. Is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Rome? Salaki, let's start all over. And as they bound him, with Acts 22, 25, 27, and as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? And Paul's asking the question. When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, he had to, because, man, oh, Lord, this is a Roman citizen here. Take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. He's letting them know that, look, I'm a citizen of your country. I'm subject to all the rights here. You're not supposed to be scourged. It ain't even lawful to do what you're doing. Beat me down and ain't even uncondemned. Yeah, right. Paul's going to find out real quick how they feel about the children of Israel as a citizen in a Roman country. Okay? Take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. The chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? He said. Paul said, yea. Yeah, I'm a Roman. I'm a Roman. That's what he said. He said, yeah, I'm a Roman. That's what you got to understand is going on here. You got to understand that Paul understood. Go find this a little bit in more depth here. Paul understood and said, yeah, I'm a Roman. But though they were afraid because of what they may have done to Paul, scourging him. Did they break a law? All Esau cared about is himself. Anyway, all right, let's finish reading here. Chapter 22. What was I? 25. Okay. All right, here. Okay. And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the servant that stood by, it is lawful to scourge a man. Oh, yeah, we get by that. Verse 26. When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. The chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, yeah. The chief captain answered with a great sum obtain thee and the chief captain answered, with a great sum obtain I this freedom. Now the chief captain was saying, look, I attained my freedom. I attained my freedom this way because I wasn't originally a Roman soldier. I mean, a Roman citizen. I'm sorry, Slovakia. And Paul said, I was freeborn. Now, now, to let you understand, Paul was freeborn, although he was from the seed of Abraham. Okay, we read about that. He's from the tribe of Benjamin, so he's Israel, but he was freeborn as a citizen of Rome. Just like you're freeborn, to let you understand, just like you're freeborn, and some of you guys already understand, but we'll let you know. Shara, glad to have you here, sis. Glad you have sis Shara. I can't believe his rib. Always checking in the class. Got 3 or 4 sisters in here now, some brothers in here going on. But Paul said, let's get back in here. What was it? Paul said, let's read this again. Verse 28. And the chief captain answered, with a great sum obtain I this freedom. Here in America, you can obtain your American citizenship here. For what it's worth, especially if you want a 12th tribe of Israel. And Paul said, I was freeborn. Okay? Then they knew they had to do something about this. Because you sitting up here scourging a man. And that's what we get. We get beat on the street, beat down. We ain't even going to prison, man. I'm sorry, we ain't even going to our trial. They cast a man in a prison and no trial. What is this? This is holding. I know it's a holding tank for them, but why are you killing us before the trial? Then straightway they departed from him, and y'all can shalom, sir. That's right, sis. Shalom. Yahweh Shamar Athah Shem Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to all my brothers in class here. Then straightway they departed from him, which should have examined him. Okay, and the chief captain was afraid. Now, he was afraid, man, because you don't treat a Roman citizen back in that day, because they obtained their freedom, Roman citizens. But we're getting ready to show you something going on here. After he knew that he was a Roman, verse 29 there. Let's go back and read it again. The straightway they departed from him, which should have examined him. They should have examined this situation, okay? And the chief captain also was afraid, and he knew that he was a Roman, and because he had bound him, because he knew he was in trouble right there, okay? On tomorrow, because he would have known the certainty, wherefore he was accused of the Jews. Now he was accused of his own people, because that's the kind of mess that we had back then. We had our own people that were under the rulership of Rome, Sadducees, Pharisees, and our own people. But our own people was under the influence of Caesar. Okay, he loosed him from his bands. Now he took them bands and them fetters off of him. Took the key, unshackled him. So you better this is a Roman citizen here. Paul had a little clout there because he was a Roman citizen, so forth. Back then. We ain't got that clout now, of course. You understand. And commanded the chief priests and all their council to appear, and brought Paul and set him down before them. Check this out. Okay. Verse 20, chapter 23. Let's finish reading the story here. Okay. And Paul earnestly beholding the council said, Men and brethren, this is Paul, I have lived in good conscience before God or the Most High until this day. What Paul said that for? Because he's saying, let's read this again. And Paul earnestly, turn to me in Acts, the 23rd chapter. And Paul earnestly beholding the council. Now he's beholding the council, he's getting ready to speak. Paul was acting out basically as his own attorney, beholding the council, said, men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before the Most High until this day. And the high priest Ananias, verse 2, commanded them that stood by him, by Paul, to smite him on the mouth. Now, this ain't no turn the other cheek type slap. He slapped the hell out of Paul. Like that. Slapped the taste out of him. Because he basically, you're saying, because what Paul was saying, it says, and Paul earnestly behold the council and said, men and brethren, I have lived in good conscience before God until this day. He making them look bad. Speaking, Paul got slapped. Of course, they don't really slap you in court necessarily today. They just slap the handcuffs on you and say, you're out of order, give you a fine. Who else we got in the class here? Zamara. Glad to have you, sis. Glad to have you, sis. I think, is that Zamara? Yeah. Rib of Officer Natazah. I can't believe her. Listen. Let's read this again. Let's read what Paul said. And Paul earnestly beholding the council. Sitting here, this council is like he's going to court, man. Because they had to take Paul and take this a little further and examine a little further because Paul's a Roman citizen and he was being treated wrong. That's what this is saying. And said, men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before the Most High until this day. And the high priest Ananias, this wicked high priest Ananias, the high priest Ananias, wow. What do you expect him to do? Commanded them that stood by him and the people that was by Paul to smite him. In other words, slap him. This was a hard slap on him. Then Paul said to him, God shall smite thee, thou whited wall. He said, Most High, Paul said, the Most High is going to smite you for smite me. That means Paul got smacked. Probably so hard that his teeth chattered. They wasn't playing around back then, But this is how, now I'm just letting you know, Paul was a citizen of Rome. And if they treated him like that, he was a full-fledged citizen. Free-born he was. Born as a citizen. Of course, he was one of us, 12 tribes of Israel. And they smacked him in court and smacked him around and scourged him, whipped him, like D'Angelo said, one of the brothers. And scourging, that's what a scourge is, whipped him, beat him, bound him in fetters, and he didn't even have a trial yet. Uncondemned. If they treated Paul like that back then, and these are the Romans that exist nowadays, in all those countries that you mentioned on the chat right there, Luxembourg, Sweden, Denmark, Holland, of course you got all the other countries that are not part of Ten Horns. You got France, Germany, Rome, Russia. All these are white Esau nations. You go into one of their prisons, especially here in America. United Kingdom are here in America. How do you expect to be treated? Just like Paul was. So Esau ain't fair. He doesn't have his laws are not for us, And we're going to talk about that in a second here, how the Most High say, you're not supposed to be congregating with devils anyway. But here we are in his land under slavery, have to make a living, and this is how we get treated. This is how they hunt our steps. I believe it's in Lamentation 4, 17, that we can't go on our streets, man. Okay? And let's read this again. Let's read this a little bit further here. Then said Paul to him, God smite thee, thou whited wall. He's calling him, you whited wall. For thou sittest to judge me after the law. This is supposed to be the law in whom I'm a Roman citizen under. because we don't get treated fair in our courtrooms either. So, that's how Esau is. He's wicked, okay? And the commandment, with verse 3, 23 and 3. What was I? Let's start over. Then Paul said unto him, God smite thee. The Most High shall smite thee, thou whited wall. Thou sittest to judge me after the law, and commandest me to be smitten contrary to your law. In other words, you ain't supposed to be hitting him. The same as you're not supposed to be hitting us. This is Rome. They don't even care. They don't even abide by their own laws. That's the main crux of the story. That's why they kill us. That's why they hate us. They hate us because of one morsel of meat. That's why they're vile. Okay? That's why they bound us with fetters and chains. That's why they're profane. Okay? That's why they took the native Indians and scourged them. That's why they dashed the babies' heads against the rocks, because the mothers were moving too slow. The Trail of Tears. That's why, what else did they do? That's why they bombed Wall Street, Black Wall Street. Why they're so wicked that they bombed Alabama. A church in Alabama where I think it was young girls, can't remember how many. They're that wicked. Never a trial, just go ahead and kill them. They're insignificant. That's why they drop bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, whatever that means. But Esau don't care. As long as he can get his, it's all about money. That's why they put us on slave ships and carted us all the way over here to the Americas and to the Isles. Because he hates you to the point where he wants to make as much money as off of you as he can, where he can scourge you when he wants, where he can kill you at will, and fool you and trick you and think we're not supposed to be scourged. I know my rights. I know my law. You better wake up and smell that coffee again. You ain't got no. When you walk on the street, you under Esau's rule, the Roman law. Junk to Juvas. They're Latin. You're under their jurisdiction. But let's finish reading right here. And they stood by and reviled the gods, the high priest. I said, wait a minute. Then Paul said unto him, God shall smite thee, thou whited wall, for sittest thou judge me after the law, and commandest me to be smitten contrary to your own law. And when they stood by, said, revilest thou God's high priest? And they that stood by said, revilest thou God's high priest? This is what they were saying. They going to turn this into a court case. So Paul, man, are you saying treason here? Because we can't kill you unless you do treason. See, this is what the Roman government were trying to do here. They want to kill Paul. That's what it is. Then said Paul, I wist not, brethren, that he was high priest, for it is written, thou shalt not speak evil of the ruler of thy people. Paul said, that ain't what I'm trying to do. But anyway, we'll go back to that. But that's what they were doing to Paul in his days, okay? Okay. And then we read Acts. Let's go to Acts 24 and 2, 5, and 6. Let's just read that, 24. Let's read a little bit more here. Okay. 2, 5, and 6. This is Paul further. He's going in prison even further here. He's claiming that Roman citizenship, okay? He's finding out that, this stuff doesn't work for us. You know, being a citizen here in America just don't work for us. That's why you need to separate from these people. You know, being a citizen just don't work. But we ain't got no choice. We're here in America. We're citizens here. You know, but what we can do in ISUBK is separate from the other nations, especially wicked Esau. Okay? All right? Chapter 24, and obey the Lord's statutes and commandments. That's the law. This is a law class. When you obey the Lord's statutes and commandments, now the Most High is with you. All right? Let's finish reading chapter 24. And after 5 days, Ananias the high priest descended with the elders and with the certain orator named Tertullus. Okay? An orator, you know, that's like a lawyer in their case, in this instance, okay? Named Tertullus, who informed the governor against Paul. Now he didn't told the governor, said, look, man, we got a Roman citizen over here that ain't acting right. You know, we know he got rights, but check this out. And when they called forth Tertullus, he began to accuse him. What do you expect? What do you expect him to do? What do you expect Ananias the high priest to do? What do you expect him to do? You know, these Romans here. Tertullus, you know, it's not one of us. He's going to accuse Paul. So verse 24 and 4. And when he had called forth Tertullus, began to accuse him, saying, seeing that thou by thee we enjoy great quietness, and that very worthy deeds are done under the nation of thy providence. We accept it always, and in all places the most noble Felix with all thankfulness. Yeah. 2, 5, 6. Okay. Notwithstanding that I be a further tedious unto thee, I pray thee that thou wouldest hear us of thy clemency a few words. For we have found this man a pestilent fellow, you know, and a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarene, you know. And check this out, verse 6 here. This is what they're accusing Paul of. You know, he's a ringleader, you know. You know, this is what they accuse us of. We out on the street teaching. They accuse us as ringleaders. You know, y'all teaching against y'all racist. Yeah, of course. You know well, we're supposed to be. You know, verse 6, 24 and 6 here. Who also have gone about to profane the temple, whom we took. Now they accusing Paul of profaning the temple. But what did they do? They took the temple. Isn't that profane in itself? Oh my goodness. Let's read this again, verse 6. Let's go back to verse 5 here. The Roman Esau is a piece of work. For we have found this man a pestilent fellow, a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world. In other words, their job is to keep the Jews in check. And that's what America does by keeping us in check. You know, we are the real Jews, okay? The blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians, okay? Among the Jews throughout the world. And a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. You know, that was, I believe, Christ was part of the Nazarenes. They grew their hair long, drink wine, had no wine, I believe. I'm not mistaken here. Anyway, who also have gone about to profane the temple. They accuse Paul for profaning the temple. Now, how are they going to accuse Paul of profaning the temple? Check this out. When the word profanity is related to or devoted to which is not sacred or biblical. Paul was teaching the gospel out of this Bible right here, which all the priests and prophets do every day. Every day, okay? If it's not on the streets, it's to your family, or it's in class setting like we're doing now. So they're going to accuse Paul of profaning the temple? Check this out. Whom we took. Now the Roman citizens took the temple, and they accused Paul of profanity. They have no dealings with the profane things of the temple. Because if they did, they would have known that this is the Most High's temple, you know, and would have judged according to our law. In other words, they took the temple and they're saying, Paul, you would have judged according to our law in the temple, you know. Wow. Check this out. Here's Rome again. Here they are again. This is how they act again. This is how the violence they act. Verse 24:7. But the chief captain, Lysias, came upon him with a great violence. That sound familiar? With another great violence. They took him. And now Paul, he understands now. Paul took him away out of our hands, commanding his accuser to come unto thee and examining him, of whom thyself mayest take knowledge of all these things wherein we accuse him. You know, accusing Paul of doing the right thing, and they sitting up here done took the temple anyway. That lets you know that the oracles of God have been tainted, have been messed with, and all that. That's fine, you know. But the Most High, they can only do so much. Paul was a priest and prophet, like we're priests and prophets, you know. And they took the temple. That's profanity in itself. That's what Esau does. A vile, wicked person that go around accusing everybody else but himself. All they want to do is try. That's why their government is the way it is. It's because their forefather Esau, of his profanity, of his vile, wicked situation, and because he sold his birthright, he put all that together, and we got a wicked, vile, profane person as Esau for one morsel of meat, sold his birthright. And that's why he's mad. That's what it is, you know. Paul realized now, he understood. Paul realized that Esau's laws were not for him. After being slapped, scourged, slapped in the mouth, you know. You know, I guess I'm pretty sure Paul was saying to himself, you know, I thought I was a Roman citizen. You know, and I even met a captain that bought his freedom. I'm supposed to be a Roman citizen, and they treat me like this. Now they want to kill me because they knew that they couldn't kill me unless it's for treason. So now they want to put treason on him. And that's what they do to us. Stick charges against us, railroad you in court, take you and send you and judge you before the time. You know, that's what they are. You know, that's why I say we don't need to be voting. We don't need to vote for the officials. We don't need to elect none of them in the government. You know, we don't need to do any of that because it may seem right to you because, oh, you know, we got a little local election here where we need to vote to see if we're going to raise the taxes here and there. Look, you don't need to be nothing for Esau. And his government's going to fall anyway. As a matter of fact, let's read about it here. Let's read about it because Paul realized the example that I've explored and tried to give you to Paul. Paul realized that, man, you know, I'm a Roman citizen. I got treated like this. Well, look, here on this side, we are citizens in America by 3/5, and we get treated like this. We're supposed to get treated like this because they tell you, your law don't, our laws is boss, and you don't count. We can kill you. You can't kill us. That's basically what he's saying. You know, try to kill one of our people, see what we do for you. That's what Esau is saying, okay? They don't help our civil rights. It may seem right to vote for them. It may seem right to march in the streets and all of that stuff. Of course, we're not supposed to. Some of our people out in these wicked churches, it may seem right for you to go to these wicked churches. It may seem right for you to eat his foods, to dress his way. It may seem right for some of our people to want to be homosexual. It may seem right for us to do all of the things of Esau because all these things came from him. But in Proverbs, let's turn to it. Proverbs 16 and 25. We'll get it right here real quick. It says, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man. It seem right. You know, it may seem right. This is what the Most High don't want you to do. He don't want you to be doing all of that, voting and going to churches that are established by them. You know, we have the Isupk to teach you the proper laws and understanding and how to govern your household. But the Bible says right here, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. That's in Proverbs 16:25. The ends, that's the way that seem right. So we don't have no civil rights. You know, Martin Luther King should have never been joining us to this law up here, this wicked Roman government law here. That's what we're talking about. He should have learned the lesson from Paul a long time ago. All he had to do is read. You know, they didn't treat him right there, and he was a full Roman citizen. And they tried their best to bury him in death. They smacked Paul. They scourged him. They put fetters on him. They whipped him. They scourged him. Paul, after saying all that, you know, these people they ain't for me. You know, we catching hell. We are in hell. We'll turn to that. Let's turn to real quick here, Jeremiah, the 17th and 4th chapter, show you how much hell we're catching because of the things that we're going through. Let's turn to it. Let's find out Jeremiah. What did I say? Jeremiah 14, Jeremiah 17 and 4. You know, we're catching all kinds of hell. You know, we're catching it because Esau is mad and he's wicked and he hates us. Okay, mad because he lost his birthright. So we're gonna catch hell until the Most High comes and do something about it. All we have to do is keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Of course, that's what we need to do. Jeremiah, what was that? Jeremiah, let's lock it. The 17th chapter. Let's turn to that. Let's find out where that is. Here it is right here. Let's find out what this is saying. Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou even myself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not. We're catching hell, man. We're serving, serving our enemies, man. Okay, Esau is our enemy. These Roman government people out here, the Rome, that's who this is. This is our enemy. This is our enemy. Let's read this again. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage. We discontinue from our original heritage and what we should have been. You know, from the way we used to live back then, we've discontinued. Before when we were living in there in a nice land, all settled, obeying the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, then all of a sudden we went into and started to break his law, statutes, and commandments. The Bible says this, and thou even myself shall discontinue from thou heritage. Okay? That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies. Okay? in a land which thou knowest not. That's here in America. That's Babylon. This wicked Babylon, okay? We're in a land. Man, we living in hell, okay? For he have kindled a fire in my anger which shall not be burned. In other words, that's what we've done. That's what I think it was Judah, sin of Judah. Yeah, we have kindled a fire in the Most High, and we're going to live in hell, man. Because we got to go through all of this every day, all day. We catching hell. Turn to Psalms 116 and 3, because death is compassing us, man. Psalms, what was it? 116 and 3. Let's find out what the psalmists say here. What the priest and prophets say here. Psalm 116 and 3. Okay. The sorrows of death compassed me. You know, who else we got in class? Shirah, Proverbs 16:25 to apply. Can't read. Relationship and friendship. Adrian, glad to have you. Okay, let's turn back to there. Let's go back to it. What was that? Proverbs 16:25. Okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, of course. It says this. It just says this. Proverbs 6, and it's also that same text, sis. It's also in see, what was that? It's also anyway. It's Proverbs the 14th chapter also. There is a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end of it are the ways of death. Yeah. Proverbs 16:25. What were you saying? Let me get back and read here again. You said 6:24 can be applied to how to understand marriage, relationship, and friendship. And our life's supposed to be like versus what we knew before the truth. We can probably get something a little different, better than that, but I'm not gonna knock that. But it's in Proverbs 16:25. It says, "There's a way that seemeth right to man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." Okay, is this whatever whatever ways that seem right unto you, like I use it in this case, obeying the laws of Esau, voting, and all the things, the way that seem right unto man. There's some people that they think that way. There's the ways that seem right unto them, but the end are the ways of death. That can apply to a lot of different things, sis. Is what I'm getting at. Okay, it can apply to a whole lot of different things. But anyway, we'll read on Psalms 116 and 3. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the pains of hell gat hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow. The pains of hell, man, that's what we're feeling. The pains of hell. Every day, all day. Hope that answers your question, Sister Shirah. I mean, because there are ways that seem right. A lot of ways that seem right that we ought not do. But those are ways that will lead you to death. You can use that in a lot of different passages, okay? The water, okay, yeah. Absolutely, sis. The sorrows of death compass me, and the pains of hell. Get hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow. Let's read that again. Psalms 116. We're talking about catching hell in America for being under the laws of the Roman citizens. So for being under the laws, for being under the laws of these Roman people that got us here, trying to tell us that we are 3/5 of a person. We don't know who we are. We do know that we're the children of Israel. As far as under their government, it's so wicked, we don't know where we sit under their government. I mean, you got to be a fool to believe that you actually have exclusive rights. Okay? Here. Because you don't. Here in America. Okay? But let's read this again. The sorrows of death compass me. The sorrows of death, brothers and sisters. They compass me, okay? And the pains of hell get hold upon me. Okay? The pains of hell. The pains of trying to keep a job up in here. The pains of being fired. Last hired, first fired. We're in hell, man. The pains of being beat on the street like you was some sort of dog. Let's read that again. The sorrows of death compass me, and that's what's happening all the time. They compass me, and the pains of hell get hold upon me. They're holding me down, man. We're in hell, while Esau and this Roman government is in heaven. They're in their heaven. And they were in their heaven in the Roman Empire back then. And, of course, they've been taken over since they've been disbanded as Rome. They just simply found new homes in different lands on the earth. That's all. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. Job 9:24, okay? Get hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow. That's all we find is trouble and sorrow. And that's what Paul found. He found trouble and sorrow back then, sitting up here trying to figure out, he was no different. He was no different trying to find his way under their law back then. And Ananias instructed somebody to slap Paul, and Paul got slapped back to understanding. This Roman citizen stuff here don't work for me. Tertullius got there and accused him. Man, this stuff just don't work for me. And so Paul said, aren't you supposed to, before I get tried and put in fetters and put in chains and scourged, aren't you supposed to at least give me some understanding of my trial? Who we got here? Let me see. Let me read. Checking in. Brother Trey checking in from Greenville. Hey Trey, I think that's the same Trey the man Shar was talking to a long time ago. I believe it is. But keep checking in, bro. You need to check in more often. Get your name, okay? Your Hebrew name, all right? Glad to have you here. But we're in hell. We're catching hell on every side because of the laws imposed upon us. That's what I'm trying to say. So we catching this hell. Psalms 116:3 is talked about. The sorrows of death compass me. Okay? Our people are dying. But the Most High says, and of course, is the ways that seem right. That's what we just talked about with Shirah, the ways that seem right unto man, but the ends of death. You can't just go and just do anything under this government. You can't just go, like I said, be marching in the street, going to these Christian churches up here. Those ways of death, man. You can't be marching up and down talking about we shall overcome. These are the ways of death, okay? No, and then the Bible says this. Let's turn to 1 Corinthians 10:20. Let's turn to we got a little time here. 1 Corinthians 10:20 here. All right? Let's find out what the Most High really wants us to do. 1 Corinthians, all right, 10, What did I say? 10 and 20? 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. Let's find out. Because eventually, you're going to realize that you simply don't fit until this Babylon, this Roman citizenship government here. You know, this hell that we're living in. You simply don't fit into these laws. Now, I'm not saying disobey the laws. I'm not saying that at all. You know, all the laws that you can obey, of course. You know, don't run no stop sign. Don't go beating up somebody down across the alley. That ain't what I'm saying. But their voting rights and their laws and stuff, leave that stuff alone, man. You wasting your time. Going to their churches, leave that alone. You wasting your time. Marching in the street, leave that stuff alone. There's a way that seemeth right, but those ways are the end to death, you know? Yeah, there's a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death, 16 and 25. You know, there are a whole lot of passages that you use for that. But anyway, 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. Let's see what it says here. This is what the Most High said. Of course, you know, you sacrifice idols, anything, you know. It says, but I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, you know, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that you would have fellowship with devils. Don't have fellowship with AKA Esau, who is the devil the Bible speaks of. But I say that the things with the Gentiles sacrifice, I mean, if you're not, if all the nations, I mean, all the children of Israel, you know, and the sound of my voice is listening, of course, if you're in these churches right here, you know, you consider this Gentile, man. You're not supposed to be coming back to the Most High right here. And the ISUPK, under command of General Yohana, to understand. So you won't have to be called a Gentile, you know. You're children of Israel by birth, but you're acting like a Gentile because you're sacrificing to those devils. That's what you're doing. If you're doing all that, you live and you want to hold on to that hell because that's all you're doing. You're not getting ready for the heaven that's getting ready to happen. But I say that these things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to the devils. They sacrifice to the white man. They sacrifice to Esau. They sacrifice to Idumea. They sacrifice to Edom. They sacrifice to Caucasians. That's what this is saying. They sacrifice to devils and not to the Most High. You think you sacrifice to the Most High, all these holidays, all these barbecues that you giving out, you know, and all these holidays, and instead of having holy days here that you're supposed to be doing, and here in ISUBK, that's what we do, have holy days. Okay, we're getting ready to have the end of one, Feast of Unleavened Bread, this Sunday, I believe. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, and this is what the Roman government wanted you to do. They want you to sacrifice to them. The Roman citizens out here, they teach you their customs, okay? The sacrifice to devils and not to the Most High. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. The Most High don't have fellowship with devils. And what does that mean? Don't have, all right, what does, I've said all I said. I mean, there's more to say, but type in the chat, what does it mean not to have, I'll make sure you guys understood it. What does it mean not to have fellowship with devils? Type it in the chat and tell me what that means. The Most High said this. I'll read it again. We're just talking about don't have fellowship with the devils. But I say that the things with the Gentiles sacrifice, that sacrifice to devils and not to the Most High. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. And I'll finish reading here. Y'all type it in the chat and tell me, what does it mean? I think we got an answer over there. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Type it in the chat. Give me some more answers in there. I'll get over there in a second here and read it. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils. Type it in the chat. Tell me what that means. We give you guys a few seconds here. I think we got some answers already. Excuse me for a second. Don't follow and don't do means don't have a friendship. That's right, Khan, sir. Shalom. Okay, right. This is me. Yeah, that's right. I got you, brother. I got you, Trey. And don't sit and talk with Edom. Look at that, Shirah. Don't sit and talk to Edom. They will try to convince you to follow the customs and practice and things that are part of the culture and customs. That's exactly right. D'Angelo, let's see, like the snake in the garden that Eve listened to. That's exactly right, sis. And young man D'Angelo, that you cannot have two masters. That's exactly right. Clap it up in the class right there. These sisters and brothers over here understand that you ain't supposed to be sacrificing and have relationship with these devils anyway. It's Esau. It's Rome. This is a law class. That's the first thing you need to understand. Right there, there's a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof the ways of death. That's why our people are dying in these churches. Because we're sitting up here, just like you guys are reading up here. That's right. Clap it up for class. Exactly right. That's why we're sitting up here wondering in these churches, where's God? Where's my pastor? If he ain't died of COVID, sitting up here, Brother Cutlip and Brother Ikmo, anyway. But listen, where is God in these churches? He ain't. These churches were established by the devils, by Rome. The Pope instituted all the churches. All of these Christianity churches, all of these marches, they instituted all of that. All of these holidays. They gave all this to throw you off so you will not know who you are. Because you don't even know who they are. We've just discovered that they're Rome, and all the other Roman white nations, Esau. That's who they are. That's who they are. Paul got to understand it. He's sitting there looking at them. Say, you whited wall. Who that? Keep your that's right. They'll keep you down. That's right, Trey. That's right, Trey. Clap it up for Trey. Clap it up for Gerard. Clap it up for all the people who participating in class today. And I appreciate that. Listen, they will keep you down. Exactly right. That's Edom. It's Esau. You don't supposed to have, like Gerard said, like D'Angelo said, you're not supposed to have a relationship with them. Because you have a job to go to. I understand that. I got it. I understand that. You don't have no choice, You work for Esau. But to join them, they want you to join them, say, oh, you got the same rights as we do. No, you don't. You ain't got the same rights as they do. If you did, they wouldn't be killing us in the street. If you did, they wouldn't be killing us in the street. Okay? As a matter of fact, I turned right to it. Here it is one. Lamentations 4:17. One of my favorite texts here. As for our eyes have yet failed us for vain help. Lamentations 4:17. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Now that ought to put the cap on the stone right there. They can't save you. If they can't save you, how they going to save you? They ain't got no law. This is a law class. This is what saves you right here. The Most High, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments out of this word right here. That's what salvation is. And it only comes to the children of Israel. We're the ones who need it. I just read that we were living in hell. I read in Psalms 116:3, the sorrows of death compass me in hell. You know, we're in hell, man. And the Bible's in 1 Corinthians 10:20 says, have no fellowship with the devils whatsoever. That's what this is saying. You know, have no fellowship. You know, you're going to be, you're going to be your mother, your father, your sister and brother. They're going to forsake you for wanting to come in ISUPK. Okay? You know, they're going to want to, and one of the brothers that got beat on the street long time ago, who they didn't, who they acquitted all of the accusers there, the ones that beat him. You know, he said, can we all get along? Can we all get along? The answer is hell no. We can't get along with Esau. We can't get along with the Roman citizens, because that's what this is. Paul didn't get along with it back in those days, and he was the tribe of Benjamin, freeborn in Rome, you know. And here we are. Rome is back at it again. Back at it, nailing us against the wall every chance he gets. Every chance that he gets, he wants to do this. As for us, our eyes have yet failed us for our vain help, and our watching, we have watched for a nation that can't even save us. So don't join them. That's the key. That's the whole thing. They hunt our steps that we can't go in our streets. Now, why would you work and want a law that oppresses you and deals this way with you in the street, like right here, like you were 3/5 of a person, because that's what you are to them. You know, our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is near. Our persecutors are swift in it. And the Most High is saying that America, you're going to get yours. Even Paul said it. You whited wall, the Most High is going to take care of you. That's what's going on in America. That's what's going on back then, and that's what's going on now. The Most High is not slack concerning his promise, man. He's going to take care of Esau. He's going to take care of for the violence against his brother Jacob. He's going to, shame shall cover you. He's going to take care of you, Esau. That's the thing. So if we had let's see who we got. Any more comments here in class there? My mother tried to send me to the army, but they don't trust the UPK. Hey, clap it up. That's right. My mother tried to send me to the army. Clap it up for Trey. You get on there in class, Trey. Matter of fact, you come on out here Sunday. You come on out this Sunday, Trey. Clap it up in class here if you had a Tawab time in class. Everybody clap it up, you know. It's a beautiful class we had today. I want you guys to understand that we're in hell. We're under Esau. We're under his government. And that you can't live by his laws. You know, keep the stoplight. You know, go on the job. Make the money all you can. His laws, his governments. You know, our end is near, man. You know, he hunt our steps. Our end is near. But he's going to take care of Esau. He's going to take care of him. You'll find that out in the book of Obadiah. But our time here is gotten by. And as a matter of fact, let's see. We might be able to go there. Let me see here. Yeah, here it is right here. All right, let's see. Obadiah 1 and 10. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame gonna cover you, Esau, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This is the promise that the Most High is gonna do for Israel and cut them off forever. I mean, I can go on and on and on in the Bible here. We have plenty of things that I didn't even get to. But I hope you understand in the class. You clapped it up in class. Young man D'Angelo, that's right, sir. Exactly right. Sarah, Mikey, Sarah, Naima, Fat Trigger, that's Trey, and all the other brothers and sisters that have participated in class. We appreciate that. Well, we're going to, let's see, stop right now and read some security announcements. If you enjoy class, like I said, continue to clap it up in class. Okay. The security announcements. We are the ISUPK, start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The rule for the new brother or sister. When a brother or sister comes into school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister record each other. Okay, after 6 months, period, the brother and sister give permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8 and 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of increase the Most High gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Like up holy convocations. Of course, we have the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It's the 15th day of the first month of the 7 days. Sunday, Salakia. The Feast of First Fruits starts the Sabbath of Unleavened Bread. Salakia. Sundown, Sunday, May the 2nd, 2021. Count 50 days. Celebrate the 50th day. Sunday, June the 20th. This is Sunday coming up. I believe that's correct. Isn't that correct? Yeah, the 16th. So this Sunday is the 20th. Sunday, June the 20th. That means come on out to the ISUPK and enjoy yourself here with your family. Bring your family, and we'll enjoy the Feast of First Fruits, the end of it. June 20, 2021, start before sundown. Leviticus 23, 10, and 22. Okay? Remind the Akim and Akwath to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shoes, pants, and headbands and scarf. We give a salute to all of our brothers. Madam Shabrat, Amadram, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Barak Thumb to all my brothers. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Make sure you have your scarves on. We'll give you a second. Make sure have all your head covering on proper. Okay? You should have it on for class anyway. As a reminder, we're going to do and make sure you do things correctly here in ISUPK. So we're going to say, Madam Shabbat, Madram, Yahweh Shema Alathah Hashem, Yahweh Shai to all my sisters. With that we say, Shalom.